How do you become rich in North Korea? It sounds like a strange question, almost like a joke. In a country where the government officially owns everything and private wealth is supposed to be a capitalist fantasy, how could anyone get rich? There's no stock market, no private property in the way we understand it, and definitely no public displays of extreme wealth. Yet, surprisingly, there are rich people in North Korea. They're not billionaires like Jeff Bezos or Bernard Arnault, but by North Korean standards, they live lives of incredible privilege, wielding power that makes them almost untouchable. So, how does wealth actually work inside one of the most secretive and isolated countries on Earth? What does it take to climb the ladder in a place where the ladder itself seems to be invisible? Today, we pulling back the curtain on the hidden economy of North Korea and exploring the secret paths to riches. First, let's get one thing straight. You don't become rich in North Korea through a brilliant startup idea or by working harder than everyone else. The traditional rules of capitalism simply don't apply. The fastest, and arguably the most secure, path to wealth begins and ends with the government itself. It's all about position, loyalty, and connections. In North Korea, power is money, and money is power. The two are inseparable. High-ranking military officers, senior party officials in the Workers' Party, and top members of the intelligence services have access to a world of privilege that ordinary citizens can't even dream of. We're talking about special rations of high-quality food, access to imported goods from China and Europe, the ability to hold and use foreign currency, and exclusive housing in the best districts of Pyongyang. These aren't just they are the currency of power. The closer you are to the top of the pyramid, the more of this currency you control. For these elites, their government salary is almost irrelevant. Their real wealth comes from the access and control their position gives them. They might oversee a state-owned enterprise, manage foreign trade, or control the distribution of resources. Every step of the way, there are opportunities to divert funds, take a cut, or secure benefits for themselves and their families. This isn't seen as corruption in the Western sense. It's just how the system functions. But what if you're not a high-ranking official? Is there another way? Absolutely. And this brings us to the second hidden path to wealth. The black market. Officially, North Korea runs on a centrally planned socialist economy. But in reality, an entirely different system operates just beneath the surface. This is the world of the jangmadang, or the informal markets. These markets started sprouting up out of desperation during the famine of the 1990s. When the state's distribution system completely collapsed, people had to find their own ways to survive, and that meant trading, buying, and selling. What began as small-scale bartering has now evolved into a sprawling, semi-legal network of capitalism that effectively props up the entire country's economy. The new rich of North Korea are often the entrepreneurial traders who master the jangmadang. They smuggle goods across the porous border with China, things like electronics, fashionable clothing, cosmetics, and processed foods. They then sell these items in the markets for a significant profit. It's a risky business. These markets are technically illegal, but the government tolerates them because it knows the country can't function without them. This tolerance, however, comes at a price. Market vendors have to pay bribes on official taxes too, local officials to look the other way. So, in a strange twist, the black market not only feeds the people but also enriches the very officials who are supposed to be shutting it down. It's a symbiotic relationship where everyone with a little power gets a piece of the pie. Another major source of wealth is access to foreign currency. In a country whose own currency, the North Korean won, is often unstable and not internationally recognized, holding dollars, euros, or Chinese yuan is like holding solid gold. It gives you immense purchasing power and insulates you from local economic shocks. So, how do people get their hands on it? One primary way is through state-sanctioned overseas labor. North Korea sends tens of thousands of its citizens to work abroad in places like China and Russia, primarily in construction, logging, and textiles. Officially, the vast majority of their earnings are sent directly back to the state, a crucial source of hard currency for the regime. But unofficially, workers find ways to hide a portion of their income. A few $100s saved up and smuggled back home can be a life-changing amount of money, enough to start a small business or secure a better life for one's family. Diplomats, trade representatives, and others working in official capacities abroad have even greater opportunities. They are at the forefront of the state's efforts to earn foreign cash, both through legal and illicit means. The stories of North Korean embassies being involved in smuggling and other shady dealings are numerous. For the individuals involved, it's a golden opportunity to accumulate personal wealth, far from the prying eyes of Pyongyang. This brings us to a fascinating and relatively new class of wealthy individuals in North Korea: the Donju. The word literally translates to masters of money. These are the closest thing North Korea has to a class of private entrepreneurs and The Donju are not government officials, but they work hand in hand with the state. They're essentially private investors who use their accumulated capital to fund state-run projects like the construction of new apartment buildings, bus lines, or mining operations. In return for providing the cash and managing the projects, they get a share of the profits and, more importantly, political protection from their powerful government partners. The Donju are the engines of North Korea's quasi-market economy. They are the ones who have the capital to import goods on a large scale, run transportation networks, and even offer private loans. They are the bridge between the state's need for cash and the market's desire for goods. They don't challenge the system. They grease its wheels. They feed the regime, and in return, the regime allows them to grow rich. It's a fragile alliance, entirely dependent on personal relationships and political favor. But for now, the Donju represent a powerful new force in the country's economic landscape. But here's the most important rule of being rich in North Korea, and it's a rule you break at your own peril. You never, ever look rich. Flaunting your wealth is the quickest way to lose it and possibly your freedom, or even your life. All luxury must stay hidden. You might have a home filled with the latest South Korean appliances, a fridge stocked with imported delicacies, and stacks of US dollars hidden under the floorboards. But on the outside, you must project an image of humble conformity. A fancy car, expensive foreign clothes, or a boastful comment at the wrong time can attract unwanted attention from the authorities. The state is always watching. Wealth without absolute loyalty to the regime is not just risky. It's a death sentence. In North Korea, money doesn't protect you. Obedience does. Your connections to powerful officials are your only real insurance policy. If your political patron falls from grace, you fall with them, and all your wealth can be confiscated overnight. The line between being a master of money and an enemy of the state is terrifyingly thin. So, let's go back to the original question. Can an average citizen become rich in North Korea? Realistically, the chances are slim to none. Not without taking immense risks, cultivating the right connections, or being willing to operate in the gray areas of the law. North Korea is not a land of opportunity where entrepreneurial dreams can easily take flight. It's a place where survival itself requires a strategic mind, and getting ahead means mastering a complex and dangerous game. In the end, becoming rich in North Korea isn't really about ambition or innovation. It's about access. Access to power, access to foreign currency, access to markets, and most importantly, access to the silence and protection that allows wealth to exist. Because in a country where freedom is the ultimate luxury, wealth can only ever thrive in the shadows. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this look inside North Korea's hidden economy interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating places. Let us know in the comments what other aspects of North Korea you'd like us to explore. See you in the next video.